Everybody's Tyler here at the Las Vegas Regional. Checking team number 4270, Crusaders coming in from Hawaii. Crusaders, by the way, last week, #1 seed at the event. They had a fantastic run and earned wild card getting into the World Championships as well, too. Take a look at Crusaders, by the way. I love this machine. It's really simplicity done in an elegant fashion. This team able to just cycle so quick on the field, so it made them the #1 seed. Of course, we'll be talking about their intake, their elevator, some driver feedback, some other cool code and programming features, and a nice wrist as well, too. Let's learn more about Crusaders coming up here on Behind the Bumpers.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. If your team is using SolidWorks, make sure you log into the 3D Experience platform to gain access to tutorials, collaborate with other users, and download the Charge Up field and kit up parts. Go to solidworks.com/first and click on Log into 3D Experience platform to gain access. The Charged Up competition season is here. We have a ton of live Twitch and YouTube content coming to you. All of our uploads and archives, including shows, behind the bumpers, Finalysis, and more, are available at youtube.com/firstupdatesnow. Check out all of our live shows on Mondays and Tuesdays at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow.
Isaac, let's start off on this robot here. You got a great intake, and I really like the wrist that you've incorporated with this as well, too. So talk to me about what you obviously have here so far, maybe some iterations you've gone through on it, too.
Yeah, so Tyler, this is one of our intake designs throughout the season. I believe this is our 10th iteration. On our intake, we use 2 polycarbonate rollers masked in a grip tape. At the bottom, we have a standoff. These 2 rollers are specific to pulling in cones only from the single substation. We do have the chance to pick up cones that are upright only from the ground, and the standoff is for holding the cubes. When this spins inward, it intakes the cones, but outtakes the cubes. And when it spins the other way, it intakes the cubes and outtakes the cones. Run by a Neo, and throughout the event, we have some troubles picking up some cubes, so we also mask parts of our standoff with the grip tape. Moving on, this connects to our wrist. Our wrist is run by a Neo, also throughout some planetaries, because in Hawaii, when we were testing our wrist, it didn't have enough torque to really pull up the wrist, and our programmers were having some trouble with some gravity vectors. So those planetaries help to keep the wrist up when we're scoring on our nodes. If Tyson could demonstrate, we have 2 preset heights from intaking off the ground. We have a cone from the ground and a cube from the ground. Of course, one drops lower than the other and spins the opposite way, depending on what object.
And I know we'll be talking about a little bit more about your motion profiling in a little bit as well, too, but I want to head it over to Chase, talk about your elevator and what's gone into that. Your elevator, like you said, it just seems like it's just very elegant as you go through. So love to hear about that. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about your swerve drive and a couple cool things you're doing from a preset-wise on that, too.
So historically, we've had lots of success with elevators. In 2019, 2018, we've gone pretty far with elevators, so we decided to stick with an elevator. We're thinking about doing a cascade, but we've never really done one before, so we decided to stick with what we know. Our elevator was designed in mind with being really light so we can move as fast as possible. We have just basic welded areas to save weight. Also riveting inside, or now it's screwed because we had issues with the rivets, but this is also 16th pocket. We're keeping lightness in mind.
Something I want to ask you on your elevator in particular is that when this elevator comes up, you do have a decent amount of weight up there. How are you keeping your CG nice and low so you're not tipping over or anything like that?
So in Ventura, our first competition, we had problems with tipping when we're scoring, even when we're moving very slowly. So we decided to thicken our belly pan by making it 1/4-inch aluminum and unpocketing it. So before, our belly pan was about 3 pounds. Now it's around 13 pounds. And we weigh about 88 pounds, no bumpers, no batteries.
As we're talking about your swerve drive, we were talking a little bit before we started the show that you're doing something kind of a little bit unique in regards to how your driver is operating it on the field. So talk to me more about that.
So coming into the season, we figured this is our first year doing swerve. So we wanted to ease in the control systems. So we implemented, our programmer came up with an idea of implementing heading that makes it so we don't have to manually turn. We just press the buttons on our D-pad. We mainly use our turning to the right D-pad for the loading station so we can always be in the same position, and also turning to the nodes so we don't have to use turning at all, only when we encounter defense.
Makes a lot of sense. I love hearing the kind of that thought process has gone through for it as well. Aaron, I'd like to ask you more about some of the programming that's gone into this robot here. Once again, we were talking earlier, you said you're doing C++ on it, so I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. Talk to me about maybe some of the driver feedback lights, and we'll show off some of the more presets on your robot too.
Correct. So yes, I think something very special to our team is that our team uses C++. Our main programmer actually didn't take everything from C++ libraries. He actually created some of the stuff himself, and he kind of really wanted to understand the swerve drive even more. So that's really why he wrote everything almost by himself. All right, so for our lights from our button operator side, we actually have yellow, make the thing for cones, and then we can actually tell our human player, okay, we want a cube now, or want a cone. We also have another one that makes the lights flash red, but that's really just for the looks of it. And so another thing is, of course, we need to bring like our lift, our elevator up to set heights in order to score things, and the wrist down too. So like, for example, if we wanted to score a cube in the middle, we'd bring it to the middle and hit the button. And we would outtake after that to shoot the cone out, or the cube out, sorry. And then same thing for cube high. We'd bring the elevator up and then shoot the cube out. Then we'd bring it back down, and if we wanted to shoot a cone onto the high node, we'd bring it all the way up, bring the wrist down, and then shoot out the cone. Same thing for the cone mid. We'd bring the elevator to the mid, bring the wrist down, and then shoot out the cone at the mid.
Something I got to ask you on your control panel here for the red blinking lights, it says biggest dog on it. What's the meaning behind that?
Well, it's just a funny inside joke that we've had at Hawaii Regional. We were like, oh, well, you see, we've always wanted like some kind of therapy, like animal or pet and things like that. And we were like, wait, why don't we just name it some random like thing? And so we were like, oh yeah, we'll just name it biggest dog. And I guess it came out to be something like Clifford now. And I don't know, maybe somehow relates to Clifford, the big red dog. So
fair enough on that. Well, Crusaders, thank you so much for taking the time. Tell us more about your elegant machine as well too. Wish you best of luck here in Las Vegas. But of course, we're going to see you already at the World Championship. So can't wait to see just how you continue to grow all the way through. Thanks a lot for taking time, and good luck the rest of the way.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. If your team is using SolidWorks, make sure you log into the 3D Experience platform to gain access to tutorials, collaborate with other users, and download the Charge Up field and kit up parts. Go to solidworks.com/first and click on Log into 3D Experience platform to gain access. The Charged Up competition season is here. We have a ton of live Twitch and YouTube content coming to you. All of our uploads and archives, including shows, behind the bumpers, Finalysis, and more, are available at youtube.com/firstupdatesnow. Check out all of our live shows on Mondays and Tuesdays at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow, and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.